This is your weekly report on corruption in the Philippine government. The number of wasted COVID-19 vaccines under the national government's vaccination program went beyond the acceptable threshold, with a total of 68,681,445 doses in its inventory rendered unusable due to the acceptance of near-expiry vaccines and operational mishandling. These were among the findings of the special audit report conducted by the Commission on Audit from the 20th of May 23 to the 20th of January 24 on the national inoculation campaign against COVID-19. The over 68 million wasted doses, as of the 30th of November last year, accounted for 27% of the about 251.8 million COVID-19 vaccines that were either procured by the national government or local government units or donated by other countries or foreign organizations. Notably, more than half of the wasted vaccines came from donors. The 27%, however, was above the ideal 25% wastage allowance set by Gavi, one of the organizations making up the COVAX facility that made COVID-19 vaccines available to developing nations under a cost-sharing scheme. Of the vaccines that would have to be disposed of, some 57.3 million doses, or about 83%, had exceeded their shelf life. The rest needed to be discarded due to defects, discoloration, presence of particulate matter, temperature excursion or natural disaster and fire. The COA noted that the wastage was also due to the fact that the government accepted doses, which were either procured or donated, although these were about to expire. Worse, some of the procured vaccines that were shipped in November 2021 to the country were already 1 to 8 days past their labeled expiration date. The high rate of vaccine wastage, particularly for certain brands, is a major concern and underscores the need for improved planning, distribution, and storage strategies, state auditors said in the special report released on the 20th of December 24. By brand, the vaccines from AstraZeneca, Gamaleya, Janssen, and Moderna had the highest wastage of above 25% due to various factors, including delayed delivery and vaccination schedules. The report, however, recognized the challenges that hounded the national vaccination program, which led to suboptimal vaccination coverage and substantial vaccine wastage. Among these were vaccine hesitancy, logistical issues, and poor vaccine management practices, it said. A government official was shot and killed in broad daylight Friday in Zamboanga City, despite the nationwide election gun ban, police said. Lieutenant Colonel Paul Andrew Cortez, information officer of the Zamboanga City Police Office, identified the victim as J.B. Robert Baginda, 57, director of the city's Registry of Deeds. The incident occurred around 10:20 am at the entrance gate of the ROD office on Rizal Street in Barangay Zone 4. Baginda was driving his vehicle and about to enter the compound when a lone gunman shot him. Baginda was rushed to the Zamboanga City Medical Center but was pronounced dead at 11:28 am while undergoing treatment, according to ZCMC Information Officer Dr. Shadrana Saraputin. The gunman fled on a waiting motorcycle toward Evangelista Street in Barangay San Catalina. The ZCPO is reviewing CCTV footage and collecting evidence to identify the suspect and the motorcycle driver. Colonel Kimberly Molitus, ZCPO Acting Director, assured the public of the police's commitment to solving the case. We want to reassure the public that ZCPO is fully committed to solving this case and bringing those responsible to justice. Our determination to uphold the safety and security of our community is unwavering, Molitus said in a statement. She urged anyone with information to come forward and assist in the investigation. Police arrested Mayor Miguel Silva Jr. of Pimpantucan, Bukidnon on Sunday night, the 2nd of February, in Compostela, David Oro for allegedly raping a minor. The 59-year-old Silva was apprehended through a warrant of arrest dated the 10th of December issued by Malay City, Bukidnon Regional Trial Court Branch 9 Judge Maria Teresa Abancamanong. He is facing 2 counts of sexual assault with a recommended bail of 100,000 pesos each and 1 count of statutory rape, a non-bailable case. This arrest is a testament to our unwavering commitment to enforcing the law without fear or favor. We assure the public that due process will be observed, and we will continue to uphold justice and maintain peace and order in our province, Police Colonel Antonio Alberio Jr., David Oro Police Chief, said. Silva is under the custody of the David Oro Police Provincial Office for proper judicial disposition. The David Oro Police Provincial Office remains committed to upholding the rule of law and ensuring justice is served. We continue to encourage the public to cooperate with authorities and report any criminal activities to help maintain peace and order in our communities, Alberio said. Silva is running as an independent candidate for governor of Bukidnon in the upcoming elections. His opponents are incumbent Governor Rogelio Neil Roque, Valencia City Mayor Azucena Huvas, and lawyer Arbisawe Lysis. Vice Mayor Manolito Garces is acting mayor. Supporters of Silva, who is in his last term as mayor, held a prayer rally for him on the 9th of December, a day before the arrest warrant was issued by the court. The Commission on Audit has flagged the armed forces of the Philippines over the more than 615 million pesos in overpayments of pension benefits to 7,210 deceased pensioners from 2014 to 2023. In its audit report, the COA thumbed down what it called as long outstanding and uncollected accounts of the AFP Pension and Gratuity Management Center as of the 31st of December. 2023 amounting to 615,641,568 pesos. Despite management collection efforts in collecting overpayments and refunds online, the existence of these long outstanding receivables deprives the government of beneficial use of funds and affects the fairness of the presentation of the account in the financial statement, the COA's report stated. It called on the AFP-PGMC to regularly provide the AFP Finance Center with the report of pension overpayments due for recovery as a basis for recording appropriate receivables from pensioners and provide access to a monitoring system for recovery of overpayments. A police officer, who is also a digital content creator, is currently under restrictive custody for allegedly raping a woman in Batangas, according to the Philippine National Police. In a press briefing on Monday, PNP spokesperson Brigadier General Jean Fajardo said Senior Master Sergeant TJ Vertuccia has been at the regional headquarters of Calabarzon Police since the 10th of January. We confiscated his badge and firearm. The hearing of his administrative case is ongoing, Fajardo said. For his criminal case, we are just waiting for the victim to be discharged from the ICU because according to the provincial director of the Batangas Police, they could not respond properly since the incident mentally affected her. Her mental state is unstable because of trauma, she added. Fajardo opted not to disclose the identity of the victim but gave the assurance that the Batangas Police Provincial Office is already monitoring her family. She noted that authorities are still tracking down Vertuccia's cohort, who remains at large. The PNP official disclosed that there were signs of trauma and penetration on the victim's private parts based on the results of the medico-legal report. This is a very sensitive and delicate case, so I hope you understand. We really cannot give further details about the victim, she said. Fajardo said they are still waiting for the result of the toxicology test since the suspects reportedly asked the victim to take something before they allegedly raped her. The National Bureau of Investigation and the Philippine National Police on Monday filed murder and frustrated murder charges before the Department of Justice against former Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office General Manager Roy Anagalmo and several other individuals over the 20th of July 20 assassination of retired Police General and PCSO Board Secretary Wesley Berayuga. In a two-page referral letter to Prosecutor General Richard Anthony Fadalan, the NBI said sufficient pieces of evidence were gathered to recommend murder and frustrated murder charges against Gama, retired Police Colonel Edilberto Leonardo, and Jeremy Corsapin alias Tox. Also recommended for inclusion in the charges were Police Lieutenant Colonel Santi Mendoza, former police officer Nelson Mariano, a certain alias Lolo and several John Does. Progress in the case was reported in the 20th of September 24 when Mendoza testified before the House Quad Committee about the ambush that killed Berayuga on the 30th of July, 2020 near the PCSO main office in Mandaluyong City. Mendoza has implicated Gama and Leonardo as masterminds in the fatal ambush. The joint investigation was conducted by the NBI Organized and Transnational Crimes Division and the PNP Criminal Investigation and Detection Group in compliance with the DOJ Department Order No. 771 issued by Justice Secretary Jesus Crispin Ramilla. A police officer wanted for his alleged involvement in the Maguindanao massacre in 2009 was arrested on Monday afternoon, the 3rd of February, in Barangay Making, Parang, Maguindanao del Norte. Maguindanao del Norte Police Chief Police Colonel Eleuterio Ricardo Jr. identified the suspect as Police Officer Wanda Tuna Kadir, 48. Ricardo said the suspect, a native of Dato Abdulasanki, Maguindanao del Norte, was visiting a relative when he was arrested on a warrant issued by the Quezon City Regional Trial Court Branch 221 in Quezon City. Police authorities were alerted of his whereabouts following a tip from a concerned citizen and an appeal from his relatives for his peaceful surrender, Ricardo said. Ricardo lauded operating units for the successful and peaceful arrest of the suspect. The government offered a 250,000 pesos reward for information leading to the capture of the suspect, a national most wanted person, and was among those charged with 56 counts of murder in connection with the massacre in Sitio Masale, Barangay Salman, Ampachuan, Maguindanao del Sur in November 2009. 58 people, including 32 media practitioners, were killed in the incident. Allegations of widespread fraud involving the manipulation of daily time records have rocked Cebu City Hall, as an initial investigation reveals that multiple government personnel have been clocking in on behalf of their colleagues. Ariel Iburan, head of the Civil Security Unit, reported that 4 personnel were caught falsifying attendance by punching in 2 time cards each, effectively logging work hours for themselves and their absent co-workers. We have already filed an incident report with the Human Resource Office of the Mayor to address this, he said in an interview on the 4th of February. Iburan said those found guilty would face immediate termination, as dishonesty was a serious offense. He emphasized the urgency of cracking down on such practices, warning that failing to act would embolden others to follow suit. Iburan also expressed fears that the fraudulent activity could be more widespread due to unmanned posts at key areas, including the City Health Office in Fort San Pedro. The absence of personnel in these critical locations raises questions about whether similar schemes are occurring in other departments. The discovery has not only tarnished the credibility of some city employees but also fueled resentment among dedicated personnel who are required to perform their duties diligently. We work more than 8 hours a day, while others get away with not showing up at all. It's unfair, Iburan said in Cebuano. To prevent further abuse, Iburan has issued stricter directives, including heightened surveillance of timekeeping activities. Personnel have been instructed to report any suspicious practices, particularly instances of multiple time cards being punched in. However, the CSU faces operational challenges. With only 21 members divided across 3 shifts, Iburan acknowledged that this limitation would hamper their ability to monitor all areas effectively. We are not yet pushing the request for manpower. Maybe after election, he said. The scandal comes in the wake of a previous controversy involving alleged irregularities in the city's attendance system. In the 20th of June 24, Acting Mayor Raymond Alvin Garcia revoked all biometric exemptions for City Hall employees after accusations surfaced that a department head was receiving a full salary despite not reporting to work. Although Garcia clarified that exemptions could still be granted on a case-by-case basis with proper justification. Police and military personnel arrested a mayor and escorts from a town in the special geographic area of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao in a checkpoint in Barangay Sarawan, Toril District here for allegedly violating the election gun ban on Tuesday evening, the 4th of February. The Toril police station said Nabaluag, Cotabato Mayor Anwar Salawang and 3 of his bodyguards were apprehended after they were found to be carrying firearms and ammunition without written authority from the Commission on Elections. Police said the mayor and his escorts violated the Omnibus Election Code of the Philippines. Salawang and his companions were on board their car and about to enter the city when they were apprehended. Police recovered 45 caliber, 9mm handgun, and ammunition. Further investigation disclosed that Salawang was about to attend a training in the city along with other mayors from SGABARMM on the 6th of February when they were caught. Toril Police Station Chief Police Major Cheryl Bautista reminded the public that the election gun ban applies to all, regardless of status in society and positions in the government. No one is exempt from complying therein. It is only the COMELEC who has the sole power to issue a written authority to be able to carry firearms in accordance to existing laws and regulations, Bautista said in a statement. The mayor and company are detained at Toril Police Station and face cases for violating the Omnibus Election Code of the Philippines. A barangay councilor in Poblacion, Cumalarang Town, Zamboanga del Sur Province was shot dead on Wednesday morning in San Francisco District in this city. Colonel Restituto Pengasban, Zamboanga del Sur Police Director, identified the victim as Francisco Maca Jr., a former municipal councilor and village councilman of Poblacion in Cumalarang. According to an initial police report, Maca suffered several gunshot wounds, mostly in his head. Pangasban said they had set up mobile checkpoints in various parts of the city in the hope of arresting the suspects. Pangasban was hopeful that the installed CCTV around Pagadian City could help in chasing the gunmen. He also called on residents who have information relating to the incident to come forward and help authorities. Zamboanga del Sur Information Officer Gisral Himang said Maka came from the provincial capital before the incident to collect a check in payment for his work on provincial government projects. The Philippine National Police has launched a nationwide manhunt for a former officer of the Bureau of Fire Protection for her alleged involvement in large-scale illegal recruitment. A joint team from the Provincial Intelligence Unit and the Malolos Police in Bulacan attempted to serve an arrest warrant on SFO2 Rica Janazapil Palatok of Barangay Longos, Malolos City, on Wednesday afternoon, the 29th of January. The warrant was issued by Judge Ronald Augustan of Pasay City Regional Trial Court Branch 297 for illegal recruitment in large scale under Republic Act No. 8042, as amended by Republic Act No. 122. The police operation was witnessed by local media, but upon reaching Pil Palatok's residence, authorities found the house locked, with a vehicle parked outside that appeared to have been unused for some time. "We rarely see the people who live in that house." She returned home on the 20th of August 24, but the next day, she left in a hurry. "Since then, we haven't seen her again," a neighbor told the police. Investigators also coordinated with the Homeowners Association and visited several locations linked to Pal Palatok, including her former BFP office and addresses in Quezon City, Calamba, and Laguna. However, the suspect remained at large and is believed to have fled to Indonesia. Authorities allege that Pal Palatok used her position at the BFP to lure victims with false promises of government jobs. In addition to the criminal case, she is also facing administrative complaints filed with the Office of the Ombudsman and the Professional Regulation Commission for Immorality and Professional Misconduct. One of the complaints was filed by Fiza Uchualali, who accused Pil Palatok of having an illicit relationship with her husband, a former Marine officer. Investigators are also looking into Pil Palatok's mother and live-in partner, both BFP employees, as possible accomplices in her escape. Authorities are determining whether they were also behind the illegal recruitment scheme and obstruction of justice. Shortly after the arrest warrant was issued, Pal Palatok reportedly resigned from the BFP on the 20th of December 24. The PNP urged anyone with information on Pal Palatok's whereabouts to report it to the nearest police station. A former treasurer of the Manila city government was sentenced to up to 18 years in prison for allegedly pocketing payment of 43,675 pesos from a bank for mayor's permit and business license. In a 59-page decision promulgated on the 31st of January but released only yesterday, the Sandagan Bayan 6th Division upheld the Manila Regional Trial Court Branch 55's ruling finding Rogelio Reyes guilty of violating Section 3(e) of Republic Act 3019. The Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, and falsification of public documents under Article 171 of the Revised Penal Code. The Anti-Graft Court said Reyes failed to overturn the evidence presented against him by the prosecution panel, proving his guilt beyond reasonable doubt. For the graft case, Reyes was sentenced to up to 10 years in prison. He was perpetually disqualified from holding public office. For the falsification offense, Reyes was meted up to 8 years in prison and fined 5,000 pesos. The cases stemmed from Reyes' alleged connivance with Land Bank Taft Avenue branch cashier Salvador Achano Jr. in pocketing a manager's check amounting to 43,675 pesos issued by International Exchange Bank, now Union Bank, representing its payment for mayor's permit and business license for its 6 branches operating in Manila in 2000. Instead of depositing the amount in the account of the city treasurer's office, Reyes deposited the check in the personal account of Manila RTC stenographer Liza Perez, and later withdrew the money. The prosecution said Reyes falsified 6 receipts with supposed machine-validated numbers to make it appear that the payments were received by the city treasurer's office. Perez was acquitted by RTC Branch 55 after the prosecution failed to establish her participation in the commission of the alleged crime. Achano was initially convicted of graft, but he was able to secure an acquittal through a motion for reconsideration. A policeman was shot dead allegedly by his wife, who is also a police officer, in Angeles City on Tuesday night. The fatality was a member of the Angeles City Police while the suspect is assigned at the Central Luzon Police Regional Mobile Force Unit. The crime reportedly occurred at the couple's house in Barangay Cuayan. Witnesses said the victim was parking his motorcycle in their garage when they heard a gunshot coming from the couple's house. Responding police officers rushed the victim to a nearby hospital, where he was declared dead on arrival. The victim's wife is detained at the Angeles City Police Jail. That's all for this week. I'll see you next Friday with more stories of corruption and foolishness within the Philippine government.